You know, Pradey mentioned for the good reason that you always hear this advice about you should share your videos on social media, right? Because this is really important for the YouTube growth strategy. But it doesn't really work for him because he is still a small channel and also has just a tiny following on social media. Twitter, Facebook, barely any people who are following him. So sharing his videos there doesn't really make sense. So what is it about this advice then? Hey, my name is Nico and this is the next episode where I answer your questions. And if you also have a question, then leave me a comment below with the hashtag AskMorningFame and maybe even in the next episode I already answer it to you. Alright, so what is it about the sharing on social media for a growth strategy, even for small channels? I mean, if you already have a big following over on Twitter, Facebook and so on, then of course it makes a lot of sense to share your videos there because you get your audience there on social media over to your own channel. However, if you don't have a big following over there, it doesn't really make sense. And also in a sense that it also doesn't make sense to grow your audience over on Twitter, on Facebook and so on, because that is also work. You know, you have to know there are two different kinds of social media. And one kind is the one that we usually look at, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. These are the kinds of social media where you have to build your own audience there over there as well. I mean, it's similar to YouTube, right? On YouTube, you are building your own channel and there you have to build your own audience. And when we are hard at work at growing our audience over on YouTube, I mean, having an additional task of growing also an audience on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, well, then we obviously have twice the amount of work, right? So let me explain you at this point the two different kinds of social media and why it makes sense to focus on the other kind in the beginning. But before I go to that, let me first explain you the first kind, which apparently doesn't make any sense for small channels to focus on if they also don't have a big audience on the social media sites yet. By no means I'm saying that focusing on social media early on is not a good idea. I mean, it's always a great investment into your future. However, the more realistic use case usually is that you first focus on your YouTube channel to grow your audience there and then bring this audience over to your social media accounts so you can grow the audience there as well and have additional ways to engage with your viewers, to give your viewers more opportunities to engage with you on social media so that they are more likely to stick around on your channel and keep watching your new videos. So this is about first growing your YouTube channel and then expanding out on social media. Assuming that you don't have a social media presence yet, it's the best idea to focus first on growing your audience on your YouTube channel only, with the simple explanation that it is enough work already to grow your audience on the YouTube channel. But that said, we now come to the second kind of social media, which makes more sense to focus on early on when you are starting out to grow your channel. And that is the social media where you tap into existing audiences. So you don't grow your audience, but there is already an audience and you become member of this audience and then share your videos. What is it about? It is about forums, Reddit, Facebook groups, these kinds of social media platforms or parts of a platform. Facebook is both, of course. You can grow your own audience with a Facebook page, but also you can become a member of a Facebook group. And this second kind of social media platforms is actually really worth the effort, especially in the beginning, to bootstrap the growth of your channel. So as I said, instead of growing your own audience, you tap into existing communities that already exist on social media. And that is much less work than growing this kind of group in the first place yourself. But it's also not just no work. you have to become an integral member of that community. After all, if you just drop your links of your videos, they won't like it and then they will ban you from the group, right? So what you need to do in order to make use of those communities, first, you have to find a community that has exactly the interests that you do videos about. So, for example, we all are on YouTubers forums, Facebook groups, Tube Ritualists, hi everyone. For example, really great group. But if you do, for example, a video about, let's say gaming or beauty, you are a YouTuber and you are welcome to discuss YouTube related topics there. But most likely, most of the people are not interested in your videos per se, because they are interested in other niches, their particular niches where they do videos about, for example. So if you want to find communities that really welcome your content, so that they watch it and this way you get views for your videos in a significant amount so that it actually grows your channel, then find communities who are really engaged, interested in the topics you do videos about. So for gaming, it would be in particular forums or subreddits, Facebook groups who are interested in the precise games you play, for example. Don't go just in any group which is interested in gaming. Find groups who are interested in the particular games you play. Well, it's kind of funny. I just said that a YouTube community like the Tube Ritual group is usually not a good idea for a small channel to get outreach in the beginning, because people are not really interested in the particular niches you do video about. But in my case, I do YouTube advice, right? And YouTube communities are about YouTube advice. And actually the Tube Ritual group was a really good kickstart for my channel in the beginning. I was welcome to share my videos because I provided good advice and people liked it. So I was able to share them and got a good boost for my videos, which I posted every now and then. Not every video, you have to be careful about oversharing your content, of course. So the big question is, how did I manage that my videos are welcome in the group? And how do you manage that your videos are welcome in the group you find where people are who are potentially interested in the content you do? So the trick here is to think about the people who are there. You can't just barge in and just say like, here's a cool video, please watch it. They don't know you. They don't know whether you provide good content, whether you are one of the many people who are just link dropping content. So they are cautious there. What you need to become is basically a friend of the community. The big question though is, how do you do it? And it's work, obviously, but much less work than building the big audience that such communities have in the first place yourself. So it's worth your time investment. And as I said, you need to become a friend of the community. How do you do that? You need to get acquainted with the individual members of the community. So what you do is just engaging with them. Try to engage in an honest and valuable conversation with most of the people who are in that community. At least a few important members who are frequently there in the forum and engaging with all the comments, because each community has very active members and you need to become friends of those active members. Not by sucking up to them. Engage in the conversation like every member would usually do. So once you become a friend of them, once your avatar in that forum, in that group, becomes known to them in a sense because they had a conversation with you, then you can start trying to post content in that community. Because if you post it, then those active community members who already know you to some extent will be welcoming your content, because you know that you are a person who don't just want to link drop, but who is actively interested in being an integral member of the community, like a friend to the community. But the big question is, of course, in the beginning, when you started engaging with the community members, did you do enough yet so that they start welcoming your content? And there is one particular trick. In the beginning, when you don't know whether they will welcome your content, you can do a video just for them. I mean, you just engage with everyone for a week or two, and you find out what they are actually interested in, particular individual persons, what they are psyched about, for example, and then you can create a video that is just for that community. I mean, it's a regular upload, of course, for your channel, because after all, you found a community that is interested in the type of content you already do on your channel. So doing a video particularly for them is not really a shift in what content strategy you have on YouTube, but you can pitch this video as something that you created just for them. As a follow-up, for example, for a discussion that you had in that community, in that forum before, that was really highly debated and so on, and you wanted to cover this discussion in a sense for them in a video, for example. So when you post this video, you can say like, do you remember this discussion we had the day before yesterday? I made a video about quite an interesting angle on that topic, or I integrated what you said in the topic as a concise discussion, as a summary for everyone else to see, because I think that this is something that the whole world should need to know about your particular game or whatever the niche would be in which you do videos. Yeah, so if they feel like you really did a video for them, which you actually did, this is kind of like a trick that they are more likely to actually welcome your video, because who does content particularly for them, invests all the work in creating a nice video? That of course is a good first start for you to share in this community. I bet with such a video, this is a really great step to become an integral member of the community who is welcome to share videos. I mean, it is the first step. Then with this post, you will find out how the people react, and then you can adjust accordingly. Maybe they already say like, you do great content, you're welcome to share even more videos of yours. Maybe they are not that happy anymore, and you can then in the coming weeks can find out what they are more interested in, and then do even more spot-on videos just for them. So it's also a learning process where you can also improve your content in case they don't really welcome the content. Of course, there are cases where it turns out that the community is really closely knit in a sense that they don't want to have any kind of promotion. So then it's a good idea to find another community. Still, even if you do a second try with a different community, you will definitely have less work than growing your own audience. And instead, you really have the chance to tap into an existing big audience. Alright, so all in all, to bootstrap your small channel, focus on social media, which is the kind where you tap into existing audiences, become a community member, and then are welcome to share your own content. So the first step to become an integral member is to engage with the community, to get your name known for at least the most important, the most active community members, so that when in step 2, when you share your first video with them, they know you and they will be more likely to welcome your first video that you share. And the tip in step 2, the first video that you share should be ideally a video you did just for them, based on a discussion you had in this community before. And then I hope, fingers crossed, that you can become a community member who really is welcome to share videos, so that will become a way where you can get a few of those community members over to your channel, and with that bootstrap the growth of your channel. Alright, and by the way, while you are at it, by engaging in communities like this, you can also learn which types of content really works well on such communities. Because ideally, once you bootstrap your channel, then also your viewers will share your videos on your behalf. So you don't have to share them anymore, they do it for you. And when you did your research for those communities in the beginning, you really know what type of content is shareable, so that in the long run you can do more content like this. By the way, I recently did a video in which I explained which factors actually help being a video more shareable. And this is really interesting to hear, because there is one YouTuber who did it particularly well, and with that his video really skyrocketed. Here is a card. I am not sure yet whether I can spool it to the end of the video, but if it's starting at the beginning when you click this card, spool to the last third of the video where I explain this success story of the YouTuber, which video really got shared a lot and skyrocketed this way. Alright, I hope this helped. By the way, I'm in beautiful Costa Rica right now, and as you can see, it's starting to rain now really harshly. It's currently the wet season, and really soon it will become impossible to film here. So I'm really happy that I'm done. Alright, my friends, have a nice day.